look into is still unknown. It is likely that once the company settles termination at pickup points, they will use a number of logistical companies to ensure fluent distribution. While eBay is figuring out how to ship goods faster to Russians, it plans to engage the mobile audience with their specialized apps. Watch out, Yandex. The company is launching eBay Fashion by the end of this year or in early 2013. This will be an app specialized in helping customers buy clothing, shoes, and accessories. The app will be localized and available for iOS and Android. There's a number of different versions of this app catering to different eBay markets, such as eBay US and eBay UK, and they're being updated and changed at different times, so it remains to be seen what the Russian version will look like. Existing versions allow the following, according to the description. With eBay Fashion, you can browse and buy from the world's largest selection of new, designer, branded, and vintage merchandise, with millions of listings for clothing, shoes, and accessories. There are some interesting features that make the app a bit more than just a glorified web browser. Quote, see a beautiful sunset, snap a picture, and use the eBay image swatch feature to find dresses, skirts, tops, and coats the same color of the sunset. From designer to vintage, eBay image swatch finds fashion that matches your So thank you for listening to the Voice of Russia. This was Garay. Check us out in English, not on YouTube. Facebook and Twitter. See and live.
There is no reason for you not to tune in to the Voice of Russia radio station. We will tell you about the most important things in detail.
Here is the news in brief. Only UN Security Council sanctions could restrict Russian arms and munitions exports to another country, President Putin stated at a session of Russia's Service for Military Technical Cooperation. He added that no other institution or country can dictate to Russia or other states where to sell its arms, as unilateral politically biased bans and restrictions do not comply with international law. Besides, Mr. Putin said while taking a decision on selling weapons to anyone, Russia always takes into consideration the situation in the entire world. All state institutions, universities, banks, museums, and some shops are closed across Greece on Thursday as the country holds another 24-hour national strike. This is the second national strike in Greece in October, with trade unions protesting austerity measures adopted by the government as part of an agreement with the EU and IMF to receive a tranche worth 31 billion euros. Pope Benedict XVI concurs with the Russian Orthodox Church's opinion of acts of vandalism in downtown Moscow's Christ the Savior Cathedral, the church said. In the Presbyterian Cathedral in February. These were the metropolitan and the Pope and the Vatican.
John Roberts on 3 months to his law house and research psychiatrist and a long-term political activist, and she's done a lot of research on the U.S. influence one of the CIA. Well,
I'm great.
U.S. aid has been expelled from the Russian Federation because the attempted to influence the internal political in the country. What can you tell our listeners about U.S. aid and similar things they've done in other countries?
One thing you need to understand is that it's not acceptable in the United States in the political process to give foreign aid. Basically, ever since Ronald Reagan was president, people, presidents or Congress people who advocated for doing foreign aid came under a lot of criticism politically. And generally the idea is that it's only really acceptable to give foreign aid if there's some kind of military or economic advantage in giving aid in that country. You can really tell just from looking at the USAID website. Clearly their main focus is not to give foreign aid in a country. It's to basically advance U.S. economic interests. On their website, they divide the periods of influence into 2000 forward, 1990 to 2000. They state very clearly, like between 1980 and 1990, the primary focus of USAID was to promote free market, that's kind of a code word for saying to promote neoliberalism, which is a very specific U.S. economic view that promotes very limited government, only in form of police force or military force. They feel education should be privatized, medical care should be privatized, social services should be privatized. So basically this is an attitude that government really has no role except to police the population and to expand military influence. And USAID says this very clearly on their website. None of this is secret. We're not talking about classified information. It's freely available information that you can read about on the USAID website. You can read in Foreign Relations Council documents, State Department documents. And Noam Chomsky, who is a famous American dissident, has done a lot of research into something that he calls U.S. grand area planning. This has been going on since the late 1930s. And the notion is that there are certain regions of the world that really are expected to be subordinated to the needs of American planning. This is both economically and militarily. And since World War II, these areas have included the Western Hemisphere, the Far East, and the former British